If you want to improve your game, find your weakness and work on that. Don't be afraid.
Kid, this is my test to you.
If you want to take your business to the next level, it comes down to finding enough reasons why you started that business. Why did I start this business? Because if you ever get a mentor, someone that comes in and says, tell me about your business, what ends up happening is it brings you back to when you started it. It brings you back to the foundation. Why did I do this? Okay, say yes. Yes. No, say yes. Yes. No, say yes. Yes. No, say yes. Now imagine for 2 seconds, sales. Every business needs sales. Imagine before you got on that phone and you called, you were like, yes, yes, yes. And then you pick up the phone. You've already programmed your mind, your psychology to say yes. You're looking for that yes. And if you don't get a yes, like Damon John always says, you know what? A no, it's always a maybe. There's always a chance. I always take a no as a maybe. It's about taking your mind, your psychology, and your mental level to a higher level so quick, so easy. And if you do that, it literally can change the way you go about your business, the way you walk into work each day, the way you handle rejection. Don't chase the money, because I'm telling you, you'll wake up one day like most people in a regular job. Now they have a 4-car garage and the big house and the cars and the kids and the white picket fence. And I work with them all the time, so I know. They're like, I'm miserable. I'm like, well, why don't you do something about it? But I don't know what to do. Change you. But it is almost impossible to ask your team of people, to ask your employees to step up their game if you're not stepping up the game. They look to you. How many jobs have you worked at and you really didn't like the work and it wasn't much fun, but the person you work for, like, man, that guy just believes, that guy really believes in this tile business. It sucks and it's hard, but he really believes in it. I'll go to work. And what I did, I had to fall in love with that customer and know everything about that person. And then after they join, personally just call them and say, hey, thanks for joining. Wait a minute, just joined like 10 minutes ago. Well, I know, but I'm excited. And they're like, whoa, this is freaky, but okay. I've never experienced anything like this. All you're going to do is just go like this. And you're going to breathe in the nose for 4 and out the mouth for 4. So it'll look like this. And the shaking of the hands is all the negativity, all the tiredness, all of the weaknesses in your body, in your mind, in your world, the environment that we're in. You're just shaking up. Jimmy, they go, whoa! Whoa!
How do you stay motivated for the long haul? Question I got in my inbox today, and I want to address it. And this really goes to the core of why I've changed my training and stuff up. By the way, if you need to, go ahead and get the free audiobook. It's going to be there. It's going to be around here somewhere, but go ahead and get it. And also join Hustler University. Now let's get into this. Part of the problem is when you are trying to do something, start a business, and you become disenfranchised or you become tired of it or overwhelmed within 6 months to a year. Number one thing is that's not the business you should have been in to begin with, usually. Number two, you started that business for reasons that didn't have really good fuel. In my audiobook course that's coming up, the 50 Laws of Hustling, I talk about that. Don't use hate, anger, jealousy, envy, or any of these low-level emotions as motivation for you to start your business. Like I hear people say, like, hey, I did this to show mom, dad, ex-wife, ex-husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm better than that. The reality is you started a project on gasoline that had water, sugar, and other contaminants in it. And that's why when it started really, really getting rough, you start, your engine started choking. Next thing you know, it stopped. You were out the game. You were done. It was over because the fuel that you used to motivate you to start that business, that workout program, that relationship, whatever, was not good, clean fuel. There's this thing called the big life. There's this, if your goal doesn't fucking scare you, you're doing it wrong. If your goal is like, yeah, I could do that, and you're cool and calm, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. So you got to have like a really, really big goal. And this is one of the reasons that I recommend for my people in my tribe to leave eBay, to leave Amazon, because you can't have these huge goals with those systems, because when you really start to grow, and this is something I checked, I went back last year and looked for a lot of the people on eBay that I used to follow, that I used to emulate because they were big businesses. They're all gone. So if the thing with eBay was scalable, why aren't they there anymore? All the folks that I watched, I'm quite sure there's some people that's like, yeah, I've been there since 1997, sonny. But they're only part-time. But the whole deal is, once you get to your big thing, eBay and Amazon are not going to be able to contain you. If you got a company and you putting off dead stock or stuff that, you just using it to liquidate dead stock, old stock, cheap stock, or you've changed your product line, that's one difference. But if you're using eBay and Amazon as your main product line distribution system and your main source of income, you could have some problems in the future. But if you're running out of fuel and you are quickly getting tired or overwhelmed, or you feel that you're working so freaking hard for so little, you're in the wrong business, or you're doing it wrong, or you started. There's different variables that will come up to this. But essentially, if you are having that issue that you burned out real quick, or you went up and you came down, motivation was wrong, your big goal didn't exist. And that's one of the reasons that it's so hard to keep going. Because I was listening to some really great information that most businesses don't make it to their 5th year. And then of the ones who make it for the 5th year, by the time of their 10th year, they're gone. I am year 5. And I'm planning for year 15. And I'm planning for year 20. Because I have big goals. And let's talk about that. Also, I'm introducing a new course. It'll be right down there. The Power of 6 productivity course. And one of the things you got to understand, success takes time. I don't know how many people, hey, I got laid off. I need to make 5, 6, 10 G's within 6 months to replace my current income. If it was that easy, you would have did it already. It's hard. It takes time. It takes dedication. And I've said it before, even with the storage auction game. Being successful in storage auctions, it was a marathon. I always said it. I was buying killer units, and I was still buying shit units. I was still getting dollar units, $10 units, clean out units. Clean out units is like when no one's looking, you look to the left, you look to the right, and everyone walked away from that unit, and you go up to the manager and you go, psst, you give me 30 days, I'll clean that shit out for you. I was still doing that. And some of those units turned out to be amazing winners. Most of them turned out just to be shit. But once again, that's a very important point that I'm putting to you. If you cannot develop the mental toughness to realize that 99.99% of the stuff is not going to be a home run, it's not going to be super sweet, you know, you will get the ability to do the long haul. But if you are like, hey, I'm doing this, it's going to be this, I'm going to make all this money, and then when it doesn't, you're like morbidly depressed. You're, maybe God doesn't want me to have this. Maybe my mama was right. Blah, 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 blah. Weak ass, weak ass, weak ass. Essentially, your expectations of being successful are totally out of line with your abilities and knowledge base currently. As your knowledge base increases, as your abilities increase, the rate that you will be successful also increases. But if you are a raw nugget of passion, expect some fuck ups, some slip ups, and time. Time. You know, when I compare and contrast this business to my storage auction business from a financial standpoint, I am nowhere close to where I was with the storage auction business. However, in keeping with this theme of the long haul, I have a big vision. And also, I did my research. In this game, you could write one book and retire. But frequently, it happens with some people. Well, not frequently, actually, that's wrong. Some people, that happens their first book, their household name, more money than they could ever spend, and they're good. For the rest of us writers, it usually is book 5 or book 10 or book 20 or book 30, or it's never one book. It's just like, bam, you got 40 books out there and money's just coming in. So I'm going with putting as many books out there as possible, once again, which I got from the storage auction business. Buy a lot of units. Work hard, and the more units that I bought, the luckier I got. The more books that I write, the more courses I put out, the luckier I will become. You see the common theme? Time, effort, and a stable mindset of, hey, if I put something out and people go, we don't like that. Okay, on to the next one. That's the attitude you must develop. But if you're just like pinning all of your hopes and dreams on this one thing and you really don't know what you're getting into, you are not only boo-boo the fool, you're boo-boo the fool's mother, daddy, grandfather, and grandmother. You're the whole family tree. So for you to stay for the long haul, you have to realize that, number one, follow your determination, which was said by Mark Cuban. I love that quote. Fuck passion. Everyone's going to like, oh no, you know, my passion, my passion, my passion. Ooh, passion. Passion will run out in a matter of days, weeks, and months. Determination could go on for decades. So follow your determination, work hard, and create your big life goal. My thing is to serve about 100,000 people. That's the goal. And you know what? I'm also from sales training. If, say, I do something and I hit that, the next thing is like, bam, we hit 100,000. We need to crank it to 200,000. I will immediately set that new goal. And that's what keeps me going on, because I didn't know that this storage auction thing was going to matriculate into this. I had no clue. I was just like, I'm going to write the storage auction book, get a little cash, get a little publishing deal. Then I'm going to sit down and write the great American novel. I am so glad that didn't happen. I'm so glad that didn't happen. This is way more fun, way more interesting, and more importantly, it's more sustainable. Sustainability. This is long haul stuff. This is things I can do a very long time. This is on and on and on and on, because I am the tortoise. You know, if you know the old story of the tortoise and the hare, steady and consistent, steady and consistent. Now, I'm not going fast, but I'm going forward. All right, so if you like that, be sure, once again, to get your free audiobook. Also, join Hustlers University, and there's a deal right there for you. All right, this is Glendon. I'll see you on the good side.